Have you guys been explicit so far about wanting to win a championship this year? And
yeah, I mean, absolutely.
What does success then look like? I mean,
a championship.
Yes, Caitlin, we know the focus is always the championship, and you're not one for personal accolades. But let's be real, someone has to give credit where it's due, so I'll do it. After a rookie season that played out more like a Marvel origin story, you didn't just break records, you shattered 62 of them. You took a team from the bottom of the standings to the playoffs and still managed to finish fourth in MVP voting. With that kind of impact, Caitlin Clark should have entered 2025 as the undisputed MVP frontrunner. But the media? They clung to the familiar, A'ja Wilson. Same name, same story. And when it wasn't A'ja, they switched gears quicker than Angel Reese on a fast break, ready with a new excuse.
I will say a couple of things. Do I expect A'ja Wilson to be A'ja Wilson again this year? Yes. But I also know there is such a thing as voter fatigue. They don't like giving anybody MVP 3 times in a row. They barely like to do it 2 times in a row, let alone 3 times in a row. I just don't see it simply because of voter fatigue. Like it just is what it is. I also think that Caitlin was putting it together in such a way last year. They're only going to get better. And now they've got a full off season together. I could 100% see this happening. Caitlin Clark winning MVP.
But now, the tide has turned, and it's making noise.
There we are right there. Caitlin Clark is officially the favorite to win the most valuable player.
After months of questionable behavior, FanDuel, BetMGM, and even ESPN now have Caitlin Clark leading the MVP race. She's not trailing, she's leading. This isn't just Twitter hype, this is Vegas, this is money, this is a sign of what's coming, and it's backed by solid evidence. If you believe Caitlin Clark will win MVP this year, drop a CC MVP in the comments below. Let's go.
We're not here to chase greatness. We're here to claim it. Our ambitions don't fit into headlines or highlight reels. So if you thought we arrived,
2 more for Boston.
now you know. We're not here for the moment. We're here for the takeover.
Even the media types who spent all of 2024 ignoring the explosion happening in Indiana are starting to come around. Suddenly, the tone has shifted, it's less smug and a lot more like, wow, Caitlin might actually be the one. The fans already knew, we've been calling it for months. Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's rewriting the rule book. So, what's behind this sudden turnaround? Simple, everything. Every sign, every stat, every offseason upgrade pointed to one thing: an MVP season is on the way.
So let's start with our 2025 WNBA MVP, and that has to go to the one and only Caitlin Clark.
We're about to watch Caitlin go full supernova, and the league isn't even ready for it. But before we dive into this dominance, hit that like button if you think she's taking MVP and subscribe so you don't miss any of the Fever fireworks.
I truly think that this second year for Caitlin Clark is going to be like nothing we have ever seen. She has had an entire offseason to train, to get into the gym, to work on things that she struggled with during her rookie season.
Caitlin's rookie year wasn't just impressive, it was a direct challenge to logic itself. 62 records. Let that number sink in. And then there's the crown jewel, the all-time WNBA single-season assist record as a rookie. That's not just elite, that's absurd. And she did it while being public enemy number 1, the most analyzed, criticized, and televised player in the league. She was dragging a rebuilding team toward legitimacy, all while breaking records and dodging elbows and media shade every single week.
Like, she broke the record for assists. I don't think people really understand, like, how crazy that is to do as a rookie, your first year doing it.
Then came the Olympic break, and Caitlin turned it into a full-blown statement tour.
Take a look at this. These are the top 3 scorers in the WNBA since the women brought home gold in the Olympics a few weeks ago. 2 of the members are of the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell.
Post-snub, Caitlin went ballistic, 23 points per game, carrying Indiana like a backpack through the playoff push. She didn't just elevate her own game, she leveled up the entire roster, all while under a microscope that would have crushed most players. Naturally, anyone with a working brain knew year 2 would be even scarier. But then some analysts got brave. Bleacher Report's WNBA expert, Nuke Logic, put Caitlin 5th in his 2025 rankings. 5th. Below Alyssa Thomas, who averaged a thrilling 10.6 points per game. Yep, that's who he thought was more MVP worthy.
Caitlin Clark at 5 is crazy to me, and it's crazy to me just off the rip because if we look at the MVP voting from last season, she was number 4 in MVP voting. It was Asia, Nafisa, Brianna, and then Caitlin.
Because apparently, ranking Caitlin higher just felt like too much. The same tired she hasn't won a ring yet argument. Sound familiar? That's the exact logic ESPN used when they said she wasn't a top 5 college player of all time, even though she literally broke the all-time scoring record, carried the sport into the mainstream, and pulled in more viewers than the men's championship game. But sure, not top 5.
Here's the thing. Love Caitlin. Love how she's transcended the game. I'm not going to go away from that. But in the open, we said, what makes a top 5 player? Winning. The only strike against Caitlin Clark is that she has not won a national championship. And that is the only thing that you can put against her, because the way she has dominated the record books when she was at Iowa was something you cannot duplicate. She's a 3-time NCAA scoring leader and assist leader, a true point guard for the people, 3-time All-American, 2-time Naismith Player of the Year, 2-time AP Player of the Year, all-time leading scorer. She broke the records of Kelsey Plum and Sabrina. Like, literally, there is nobody who has been such a front-facing name through a direct reflection of her skill set. But how can you be a top 5 player if you have not won a title?
It's a great point, which is why I agree with you.
It's been the same story, people just refusing to give Caitlin her flowers until now. The very same ESPN that once left her off the GOAT list now has her ahead of Asia Wilson and Nafisa Collier in the MVP race. And let's be real, it's a 3-horse race after Brianna Stewart. The odds take a nosedive, and the rest are just there for decoration. So what changed? Oh, just everything. The signs were always there, the roster moves, the momentum. But once training camp opened, people finally opened their eyes to what Fever fans have already seen in bold, glowing lights. The rest of the world is just now catching up. Let's start with the biggest piece, coaching.
And I told y'all this last year, well, I didn't tell y'all this last year on air, but like, we saw when they took the pictures with Christy Sides, like when she pulled up on them at All-Star Game, her, Kelsey, and AB, and everybody just kind of like rolled their eyes and walked away like she was a groupie.
Yeah,
that told me everything I needed to know. So when I said like she's not it was based on 2 years of seeing things that just shouldn't have been happening in the first place.
The whispers were getting louder last season. Caitlin and the Fever were succeeding despite Christy Sides. Nobody said it out loud, but the awkward silences spoke volumes. Caitlin herself hinted at it early, mentioning the lack of sideline feedback, the chemistry issues, and the body language. Frustrated fans weren't subtle either, watching close games slip away due to sloppy rotations and disorganized sets. So, Indiana made the smartest move they could. Enter Stephanie White, 2023 Coach of the Year and Certified Basketball Brainiac.
Yo, we cannot be short on that pass. We can't be short on that pass. One advantage that we have is that we're longish, right? So now we got to use our length. So don't make yourself small. Good job. Great rotation. Good. Good. Right? So you got to listen. You don't go until she says go. Yeah, she could stay. Yep. As soon as she says go, that's when you're going to go.
Oh my God. Sophie's a dog. She just is, she's a competitor. She's versatile, so she allows us to do different things. Like, she plays with such a toughness. She's huge, and she's going to be for us all season long. But what she brings from an energy standpoint, she raises the level of play of everybody around her as soon as she steps foot on the floor. Hell, even on the sideline. I mean, her communication, everything. She's definitely an X factor.
I guess to that point, how does this kind of compare to what you are used to?
Oh man, yeah, totally different atmosphere. The support here has been just phenomenal. I really can't go anywhere. I've been here like a week and a half, and everywhere I go, it's just like, we're excited for the season. Thank you for being here. So it's been really, really refreshing, and I'm just happy to be here.
But you have a Natasha Howard, and a DeWanna Bonner that can just straight up go get their own bucket. And they're huge, okay? These are tall people, okay, guys? I think they're both like 6'3" and 6'4", right? So matchup nightmare. Sophie Cunningham has been playing out of position in Phoenix for like 3 years. So she probably will get to go play the 3 again. She's a very underrated defender. And now you have very elite rim protection in Bree Turner. So now you go keep Aaliyah Boston out of foul trouble, which means she's gonna be able to stay on the court. So, do I think that they are a contender? Yes, I do.
You know, everybody knows we have so much talent, but at the same time, like, you got to put that together. It's not going to be like, all right, you have all these great players, step out on the court, it's going to work. Like, it's going to take a little bit of time to figure things out, figure out how everybody works with one another. So, DB's been tremendous, and obviously, you know, not only as a leader, she's a tremendous basketball player too, and she's won championships. She knows what it is. So when she speaks, everybody listens. So I think that was a piece of the thing we were missing last year. It's like we didn't really have that inside of our locker room. So just really grateful for that, and you know, just the way she talks and she leads. Like for me as a second-year point guard, like I want to win for her. Like this is the end of her career. Like she deserves it.
In her sophomore year, she's more seasoned. She has had time to rest. She's had time to really regroup and see exactly where she wants to go. Obviously, they have a ton of new players, new coach.
Let's just say Caitlin didn't show up to camp with a vacation tan. She showed up looking like she'd bench pressed the entire offseason. Absolutely jacked. But it's not just about biceps and beach muscle. The real flex here is what that transformation means for her on the hardwood. Because this isn't just about looking.
I feel like everyone talks about it. I'll see it on social media. They'll be like, Caitlin has so strong muscles. And don't tell her I said that either. don't even mention that. Yeah. But I think her strength, I mean, she gets in the paint and she's able to bully her way in and finish strong at the basket. I mean, everyone talks about, once again, her three-point shooting, and we've all seen her passing, but I think her ability to get downhill and really just stay on balance and score the ball, I think is going to be great this year too.
I think Clark being in the MVP conversation is kind of the baseline at this point. You know, she's already been that good as a rookie, and I imagine she's going to take another step forward. I mean, we talked about how that Olympic break was so good for her to get some rest and come in with her legs underneath her. Now she has an actual off season, you know, that she got to take off where, you know, she didn't play in Unrivaled, she didn't play overseas. So this is a lot of time for Caitlin to just get her body right and come in the best shape possible for this upcoming season. And I think that's going to pay huge dividends for her. Like there's no like ramping up period this time around for Caitlin Clark. She's going to come in on game one and be already one of the top 5 players in the WNBA. So, I mean, I think MVP has to be like the ceiling for her, right? Like she's already in that conversation. So for her to, you know, get even higher in the vote total, potentially winning that award either this year or next is what I would expect from her.
I think for myself, you know, just having a year under my belt and knowing what to expect and continue to have fun playing basketball in front of these great fans. And, you know, as long as we win, I'm going to be happy.
Our road games sound like home games because our fans don't ask for permission to dunk.